Alive. Happy Sunday. Let me get a couple things straight here. Today I'm going to walk you through how to land a high-paying job in the next 30 days. So if you are someone who is struggling to get hiring managers to call you back or interview you, if you are struggling to find jobs you're looking for, if you're someone who is interviewing but you're not getting job offers, I'm going to tell you, one, why that's happening, and I'm going to tell you how to stop it, okay, so you can be in control of what's happening. If you know why it's happening, then you can stop it, right? You can get more people to call you back. I'm going to show you or talk you through how to find thousands of jobs you can apply for. There are so many people that I speak to who say the job market is tight. It's not tight. There are millions of jobs that are open right now, thousands that are in your skill set, tens of thousands for some of you. The issue is you just don't know how to find it. And because I'm a recruiter and I post positions online so that you can find me, I'm going to tell you how to find these jobs, okay? And then if you're someone who is interviewing for a job, and I see here on Instagram someone says they have an interview tomorrow. If you're interviewing for a job, you need to know what the job interview is about and how to navigate through that interview so you can get an offer. I'm going to share something with you guys that may be a surprise to you. The average hiring manager interview will last 30 minutes. And the first 10 minutes of that interview will be dedicated to asking you questions to learn something specific about you. You shouldn't be talking more than 10 minutes in an interview. Now I know that's a bold claim, but I'm going to explain it to you in just a second and prove to you why that is the case. And why most of you who talk way more than 10 minutes, you lose the job. In fact, most of you, if you make it to the hiring manager interview, you lose the job within the first two questions. I'm going to tell you what those two questions are, and I'm going to tell you why you're answering them wrong. What hiring managers actually want to hear you say and why they are asking those questions. Okay? So we're definitely going to talk about that. And then many of you are not maximizing your offers. So you see a pay range and you think that the pay range is the only amount of money that a company is willing to pay. It's not. When we publish and post pay ranges, it's a qualifier. Just like, do you have a bachelor's degree or how many years experience you have? It's a qualifier. So I'm going to tell you how you can send a 3-message reply to a written offer and get a hiring manager to gladly give you $2,000 to $10,000 more from every offer that you get. I will tell you at the end also, if you need additional help, how you can get help. But I'm also going to be doing free resume reviews today. Free. So if you want to email me a copy of your resume on Instagram and on Instagram and Facebook, I have pinned my email in the chat. So if you just look at the bottom, the pinned email, that's my email. And on TikTok, it's above my head. It's Daniel@dscds.com. Daniel@dscds.com. So who am I speaking to today? You are someone who is currently working, but you hate your job and you want to do something else. You are currently in a job or in an industry you absolutely hate and you want to transition, right? You don't have a job. You've been laid off, right? And you just are having a hard time finding a job. And the clock is ticking. If you do not find a job soon, things are going to start to get rough for you. I'm going to make another bold claim. You should be able to land, not just find or get interest in. You should be able to land multiple job offers in 30 days. I don't care what your level of expertise is or what job you do or how long you've been doing it. I'm going to tell you exactly what you should be doing and why you are failing to make this happen in your life. So if today is your first time watching one of my lives, I'm going to explain to you really quickly who I am, what it is I do, and how I am going to help you today. I have been in talent acquisition and recruiting in the human resources department, managing that half of human resources for the past 36 years. Everything that has to do with a company hiring you, I'm responsible for designing it. So when a hiring manager needs to hire someone, they come to my office. Okay? I sit down with them. I have a conversation with them about the job, about the pay. I position the pay and the job description for them. Once they approve it, I post it in the applicant tracking system. Our applicant tracking system is tied to our career site. Once it gets onto our career site, seconds after I publish it in the applicant tracking system, 6 to 8 hours later, it will go over to all of the job boards. Okay, that's where you see it. When you see it on the job board and you click submit to apply to the job, that resume comes back to me. Okay, and I'm the one that takes a look at it, and I am the person in the organization who says, yes, you can interview with the hiring manager, or no, you can't. If you get a yes, again, we're going to reach out to you. But if you get a no, it's usually going to come in the form of a rejection letter. And we are not going to call you to tell you why you were rejected. So I'm going to tell you why 90% of every person who applies to a job, 90, that's 9 out of every 10, why they get rejected, even if they are supremely qualified and have everything the hiring manager wants in terms of skill, experience, education, and background. I'm going to tell you why you may be part of the 90%. Okay, so throughout the live, I know that people usually leave comments and they are talking, asking questions. I'm going to do my best to address it, and I'm going to address one here in just a second about the applicant tracking system picking up keywords. So if you have a question or a comment, I'm going to do my best throughout this whole time we're together on this live. I'm going to make sure that I'm answering those questions. So somebody left a message on TikTok, says, so let's talk about these ATS systems picking up on wording. Okay, so I want to share something with you guys. That is a myth. Okay, we do not, as talent acquisition pros, we do not rely on keywords to separate candidates. Okay, let me explain to you why. You have no idea. Okay, so there is a part of the applicant tracking system where we can put keywords in to grade a resume, right? But there's a problem with that. Okay, and the problem is if I put in keywords that I want a candidate to have on their resume, and you don't know what those keywords are, you are going to submit your resume, and I'm going to pass you up because your grade in the system is too low because you didn't know what the keywords were. Okay? So that affects me and my team as talent acquisition. That means we have fewer candidates to look at. Okay? So I don't know what everybody else is doing, right? But I know all of the organizations that I work with, we don't use keywords to grade candidates so we can separate them out. So lose that thought. That's not why you're being rejected. All right? So if you have another comment or anybody else has another comment, feel free to go ahead and chime in. I'll be happy to do that. So JMS says, I have an interview for program specialist, trainee, law and public safety division and consumer affairs. Please stay on for the interview portion. I'm going to explain to you how you are supposed to be interviewing. I talk to clients every day, and I do interview prep every day with clients on my Fast Track program, and they are surprised at how simple interviewing is once they understand how I explain the purpose of interviewing. They're surprised. Everybody thinks that the job of an interview is for you to sell yourself to the hiring manager. It's not. I'm going to say something else that's very bold. I tell clients, you never talk about your skill, experience, education, and background in an interview. Never talk about it. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why in just a second. I was playing golf with a guy yesterday who worked for a very large global bank. And he was asking me the same question. Okay? Let me pause there for a second. I don't know what your name is. It's Blackheart. We do touch every application. So let me give you let me share something with you. So I want to share this with you guys so you know. So I have a person here on the live. They're wondering how the resume works through the applicant tracking system and gets through recruiters. So I'm going to explain it to you because so many people think that we're using AI or some tool to screen candidates out before they get to a human. Okay. The truth is that is a very inefficient way to do it. Okay. There's so many people who have job titles that do work that's different from the job titles that I may be recruiting for. So we don't use keywords in that way. I keep saying this over and over again, but I guess everybody that I see, you guys are new and you don't understand this, so I'm going to explain it to you. So let me explain to you what happens. Your resume comes into the system. Okay, when I click on your resume, we don't grade it. When I click on your resume, we're skimming and scanning it, and we're looking for something very specific. I'm going to show you how to get around keyword searches. Easy. It's so simple. It's easy. I'm going to show you how to get noticed in seconds, literally in less than 10 seconds. I'm going to show you how you can get noticed by a hiring manager and get called first. Okay. So we look at your resume, every resume. Now we're looking for a specific number. Okay. The first number we look for is 20. Okay. For every one position that we hire for, we want to pre-screen or look at 20 applications to break it down to 10 that we can pre-screen to submit 5 to the hiring managers to get 4 interviews so we can hire 1. That's the number. Okay, that's the metric. This is what I've been doing for 35 years. So the first 20 candidates that I see that I believe match what we're looking for, I'm going to put those to the side and I'm going to stop looking in the applicant tracking system at candidates. So I'm going to tell you how to make sure that you're one of those 20. So once I look at those 20, push those 20 to the side, I will then look at the skill set more closely of the 20 and whittle that down to the top 10. Okay? Those top 10 people, this is what I do. I text you and say, hey, thanks for applying for this job. I'm very interested in speaking to you. Do you have a moment to speak with me today? Okay? I will email you. Hey, thank you very much for submitting your resume for this job. Very interested in talking to you. Are you available to speak with me by phone today? Okay, this is the pre-screen portion. Okay, if you are not available to speak to me today, we set up a meeting for tomorrow, another day, but I'm pre-screening. Okay, I'm going to pre-screen those 10 people. Pre-screens last about 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 10. 5 of the 15 minutes is going to be me asking you 2 to 3 questions. The other 10 to 12 minutes is going to be me trying to talk to you about the position to sell you on this job. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. If you agree to everything that I said, how much money are you looking to make, this is what the position is all about, the whole 9 yards, then I am going to shortlist you for the hiring manager interview. Are you available to interview with the hiring manager early next week? If I schedule the interview, blah, 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 right? So you say yes. So I have 5 people that I want to submit to the hiring manager, 5 to 6 people. So I will submit these people to the hiring manager and I'll say, hey, these are the 6 top candidates that I've selected from the requisition. When are you available to interview? And the hiring manager will look at your resume. I know how to position your resume, and they'll say, yeah, I'll want to interview all the 6 of these. And they will give me their times, and then I will call you back and I will schedule you. Usually it's a Teams interview or Zoom in or something. So I'll get you scheduled. You would then prep with me before you interview the hiring manager interview, and then you get hired. So please stop thinking that we are not looking at resumes. We are. If you stay long enough, you're going to see why you are not getting picked. Just stick around long enough. I promise you, you are going to know why they are telling you go kick rocks. I promise you that. And it's going to be something that's real simple for you to understand. Most people just don't understand, okay? So I wanted to explain that because I know there's a lot of people who have information about how this works or how this doesn't work. I want to help you out. Okay, so let me explain something to you. Everything with respect to your next job hinges on one thing. One thing. So CCW, I will try to review some resumes live. So first 100 people who email me their resume, I'll review your resume. Okay. So everything with respect to a higher paying job hinges on one thing. I want everybody to listen to me, please. It's not a multiple things. It's one. And if you get this one thing wrong, you will not get a job. Okay? Higher paying jobs are the result of a hiring manager believing that you can solve a problem bigger than they have. Okay, let me say that one more time. Higher paying jobs are the result of a hiring manager believing you can solve a problem bigger than they have. Okay? That doesn't happen in the interview. Please listen. If you want to make more money, get a bigger offer, get the top end of the pay range, it doesn't happen when you interview. It happens way before that. The hiring manager makes a determination about what they're going to pay you the moment they look at your resume. Okay? They have in their mind high, medium, low. And I'm going to explain to you what high, medium, low means. They have in their mind already high, medium, low. This person has a low chance of doing everything that I want based on their resume. I may have to train them. This person has an average or medium range of expertise doing what I want based on the resume. Or this person, oh my gosh, they are totally qualified and can do more than I want based on their resume. So you are not getting higher paying jobs for one reason, and it is your resume. You can think whatever you want about that. It has nothing to do with the interview. Everything to do with your resume. You think that your resume is a historical document that proves to the hiring manager you have the skill to do the job. It's not. That's not the purpose of your resume. You got to stop thinking about your resume like it is designed to prove to the hiring manager that you have the experience to do the job. No, you can't talk about what you've done. Your resume can't speak about what you've done. It has to speak about what you can do. They're not the same. Okay? They're not the same. This is vital. Okay? You are submitting your resume to hiring managers and you're showing them, in fact, you are even interviewing and talking about your previous work history, thinking that that is what's getting you across the finish line, and it is actually causing you to lose the race. Your resume is not designed to show the hiring manager all of the work you've done. That's not the purpose of it. The work you've done is proof. Has to be on your resume in the right spot. I'm going to tell you in just a second that you can do the work. I'm going to give you a simple picture that is very clear. Okay? So you can understand when a hiring manager sees your resume, this is what they see or don't see. Okay? So, if after I explain this to you, you believe you fall into this category and you want to know if your resume is healthy and attract the attention of hiring managers and recruiters, just email it to me. So listen, I want you to imagine you are someone who lives in a house and today you woke up and you are walking in an inch of water in your kitchen because the sink pipe broke and your whole kitchen is being flooded. Okay? You need a plumber. So you pick up your phone and you Google plumbers in your area. You call a bunch of them and say, help, help, help. Please come and help. 1 hour later, after your floor is getting even more flooded, 3 people show up at your door. Okay? Your doorbell rings. There are 3 people standing there. One has on a plain white t-shirt. Doesn't have anything on it. And they have on a plumber's belt with tools. Okay? The second person is standing there. And they have on a plain black t-shirt with a plumber's belt and tools. Okay? And then there's a third person that's standing there. And they have on a gray t-shirt with the plumber's belt and tools, but across the top of their t-shirt in big bold all cap letters it says expert plumber. Okay? Now those 3 people who are standing at your door, you have this emergency happening in your kitchen and it's continuing to get worse minute by minute. Who are you going to let in your house? If you're smart, you're going to let the person who told you who they are, you're going to let that person in your house. Okay? That person is then going to be able to solve your problem. You're not going to interview him. You're not going to talk to him. You're not going to say, show me your credentials. You're not going to do any of that. You're just going to say, you in the gray t-shirt with expert plumber across your shirt, please come. The other 2 people will go away. Now watch this. The other 2 people may have been way more experienced. But because they didn't identify themselves based on the problem you have, you told them to go away. That's what's happening to your resume. And you don't know it. Okay? Now what do I mean? As a recruiter who manages hiring, I have one job, and that is to get qualified candidates interviewed for the hiring manager. That's my job. And in order for me to do that, I have to know what the hiring manager wants to see when I submit a candidate. I have to know that. Okay? I learned this 28 years ago when they were rejecting candidates that I was submitting that did not show them what they wanted to see. Even though the candidates were qualified, they were saying to me, I hear what you're saying, Daniel, but I don't see what you're saying on their resume. So no thank you, get me more people. So for the past 28 years, I changed how I submit candidates because what I was doing is submitting candidates who had nothing written on their shirt. The hiring manager was saying to me, I have a customer service problem, but I was submitting a well-dressed customer service rep that didn't identify themselves as a customer service rep. So the hiring manager says, man, I don't know who this is. No, thank you. Right? Most candidates believe that if they submit their resume, hiring managers read it. They don't. They read less than 5% of the document. Okay, so how do they know that I can do the job? Expert plumber, expert payroll manager, expert scrum master, experienced CFO, expert CEO, expert recruiter, expert registered nurse. That's what gets you noticed. Now that they see that you're an expert plumber, they look for the second thing. Okay? You just made the claim that you are an expert plumber. You need to be able to back that up. How do you back it up? Number of years experience. Expert plumber with 25 years experience. Lucky I'm not taking calls right now. Give me a second. Okay? So, expert plumber, 25 years experience. So your experience just backed up the claim that you're an expert plumber. Now you're even more confident that that third person can actually do the job. Now watch this. Not only is it increasing confidence before they talk to you, but you are building trust without saying one word with your resume. Expert plumber, 25 years experience. So when a hiring manager picks up a resume, or when I deliver a resume to the hiring manager, those are the first two things they want to know. Daniel, I'm looking for a project manager. What does this person do? Hiring manager, they're an expert project manager. Okay, great. How much experience do they have? 18 years experience. Oh. Okay, so this is what hiring managers are looking for. And then they're looking for something else. The next two things that I share with you will get you $5,000 to $10,000 more than the max pay for almost every job you apply to. But most of you, 9.9 out of 10 of you, you're missing these two things on your resume. I never submit a resume without these last two things. In every resume that we take care of, the four things that I'm telling you right now, we add them right up front, which is why people who are on my Fast Track program get 4 interviews in week 2 and 4 interviews every week after that. Okay? So, expert plumber, 18 years experience. And you got 2 people who are standing at the door who haven't identified themselves at all. You're going to tell those 2 people, see you later. I got a problem. This person has identified themselves. So guess what? I'm letting that person in my house. And it doesn't matter what those other 2 people say. Oh, he just started his plumbing business. Nobody cares, right? They don't care. They just told you what they do and how long they've done it. And then the third thing, which most of you are missing from your resume, is how good you are doing it. How do we know how good you are? Not your experience, not your number of years experience, but it's metrics. So if it says expert plumber, 18 years experience, serving 22,000 customers. Okay, now, you know that this plumber is going to cost top dollar because of the level of their expertise and the number of people that have placed trust in them. 22,000 customers. Okay? That's, the other people, they don't even stand a chance anymore. So I want you to think about this. When your resume comes across, and we have 3 documents, right, in front of us. Right? 3. What are we looking for? We're looking to make a determination about which one of these candidates we're going to interview. Right? One says, hey, I'm a guy. One says, hey, I'm a girl. One says, expert plumber, 25 years, serving 20,000 customers. You're going to take this person. The other 2 people you're going to throw in the trash. Guess what's happening to your resume? You're just like those 2 people who have nothing under the t-shirt. They're ripping your resume up and they're throwing it in the trash can because they don't trust you at all because you failed to tell them what they wanted to know. What did they want to know? What do? You applied to this job, so can you please tell me what you do? How long have you done it in terms of years and how good you are doing it? Metrics. I tell people I am a senior talent acquisition recruiting leader with 35 years experience hiring 4,000 to 6,000 people a year for medium and large companies in the U.S. There is no doubt at all about what it is I do and how I can help them when they look at that information. You're failing to do that. So guess what? The longer you keep that stuff off of your resume in the right places, the more rejection letters you're going to get. So I want to know that I'm talking to the right group. If you are sick and tired of being rejected from submitting your resume, getting rejection letters, I want you to type in the chat, I'm tired. So Denisha, I'm going to tell you how I help college graduates to get interviews faster than people who have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years of experience, utilizing the same thing that I just told you. Okay? So, it doesn't matter how much experience you have when they see that you're an expert with so many years experience and you help this many people. So I see several of you on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok saying, I'm tired. Okay? This is the unlock. I'm telling you because I'm the guy who gets your resume. I'm actually the person who tells you no to your face. And if you ask me, call me and ask me why you're telling me no, I can tell you why. Okay? So I'm telling you why hiring managers are not picking you. Why recruiters are not picking you. When you knock on the door, apply to the job, you are not telling them who's standing in front of them. And they are not going to try to figure it out. You have to tell them right up front. Now, this fourth thing that I'm going to tell you guarantees that you're going to get higher paying offers, and it's going to get you interviews in seconds. Okay? Are cover letters beneficial? Cover letters they're a nice thing to do, but I always tell people you send a cover letter after you've secured a hiring manager interview. It's just nothing but an introduction letter. So yes, it's a nice thing to have to kind of give an overview, but cover letters should be strategically crafted as well to make hiring managers excited about talking to you. It's not just a, hey, how I am, how are you doing, this is who I am, and this is, no, you need to, and that cover letter needs to be strategically written to help a hiring manager know who they are about to talk to, okay? So you don't submit a cover letter until after you have secured a hiring manager interview, not a pre-screen, hiring manager interview. Okay, so 3 things that we just covered, and I'm about to cover a 4th thing that's going to blow your mind. In fact, I'm going to do this for many of you. So if you want me to review your resume to see if your resume meets this criteria, just email it to me. It's free. So thing number 1, expert plumber. That's what you do. Thing number 2, expert plumber, 28 years experience. That's how long you've done it. Now hiring managers are building trust in you without even hearing a word from your lips. Okay? Expert plumber, 28 years experience, serving 20,000 customers. Now they're like, this person is top dog. Yes, I want to talk to this person. But now I'm going to have you add one more thing that will make them say, I don't want to talk to anybody else. I just want to talk to this person. And it is called a value statement. Okay? I'm going to do it for you right now. So, I'm not going to share names, Reese. I always cover up names whenever I do resume reviews. I want to protect your privacy. So I'll show kind of what the format of the resume looks like, and I'll show some of the things that are good, bad, and ugly, but I won't show the person's name. Okay? Now, if I can't get to everyone, I will make sure that I review your resume today, and I'll reply to you via email. In my reply, there will be an option for you to fix it. You can just do whatever I'm telling you to do, fix it yourself. But if you're like, I don't want to do it, please do it for me. There is an option in there for me to do it, and then you could choose that option or not. I have no expectation that anyone would ever use my option. In fact, whether you do or not doesn't matter to me. Okay? All right, so expert plumber, 28 years experience serving 20,000 customers. Watch this. This is the value statement. Listen to me very carefully. Because when this happens, you will know that you are going to have to pay top dollar for this plumber. When a hiring manager sees this on your resume, they know that you are at the top of the pay range. If it's missing, then they're going to give you whatever. Okay, this is called a value statement. You're going to tell a hiring manager specifically how they are going to benefit if they hire you. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of good news. For every, literally, 10,000 resumes I looked at, okay, for every 10,000 resumes I look at, one may have this. I've looked at more than 750,000 resumes in my career. Okay? For every 10,000 resumes, one may have this. But this is the thing that tips the scale and gets you big offers. Watch this. So if it says expert plumber, now remember the scenario. You have a leaky sink in your kitchen. It is destroying your hardwood floors. Okay? You need a plumber. This guy's standing at your door and it says expert plumber. 20 years experience, serving 20,000 customers. I help you stop your sink from leaking in 5 minutes or less. Okay? The I help you stop your sink from leaking in 5 minutes or less is the value statement. It is the benefit that you as a customer will get if you hire this person. Hiring managers want to hear the exact same thing. Watch this. In the comment section, I want you to type in your job title. I'm going to show you the power of a value statement. Nike does it like this. Nike doesn't just say, hey, we have a brand new shoe that's coming out. It's made of rubber. It's made of canvas, has laces, buy it. No, Nike tells you the benefit of the shoe. It says, we have a shoe that's coming out May 30th of 2026. And this shoe is going to help you jump faster, jump higher, run faster, and win. That's what it tells you. I play golf, right? They come out with brand new drivers every single year. And they say, if you buy our driver, you can hit the ball farther, right? They're telling you the benefit. They're not telling you the cost. They're telling you the benefit. They're not talking about the cost. And you place value on the benefit you get. Hiring managers place value on the benefit they believe they get if they hire you. And if you tell them the benefit before they ask, they're going to pay you a lot of money. Okay? So let me do this for a couple of you right now. So in the I don't know what commissary chef. I'm just going to do chef, Yana. So okay. So if you add a value statement to your resume, this is all right up top. This is at the very top of your resume. This is the first thing hiring managers see in the first 7 to 10 seconds when you submit your resume, right? This is what they see. So if you are a chef, you say, I'm an expert chef, this many years experience doing XYZ, and you say, I help you deliver exceptional dining experience, preparing over 100 to 500 plus high quality meals every day, leading kitchen teams and maintaining excellent kitchen operations. That's what you would say as a high value statement if you're a chef. What about accounting and finance? Right? If you're accounting and finance and you wanted to add a high value statement that will guarantee that you're going to get the max amount of pay plus, then you would say, as an accounting and finance manager, right? I help you manage $10 to $100 million in financial operations, maintain 90 to 100% reporting accuracy, and I help you improve profitability through strategic accounting and financial analysis. That's what you say as your value statement for accounting and finance. Warehouse operator on Facebook. So if you're a warehouse operator and you want to provide a high value statement to a hiring manager that lets them know, stop, call this person. You say, I help you improve warehouse efficiency by 20+%, and I help you process 500 to 2,000 units a day and ensure accurate inventory handling across fast track operations. That's what you say if you're a warehouse operator, right? SAP, I'm going to type it in just like you put it. SAP FI consultant. You, as a SAP consultant, you can say, I help you optimize financial operations by implementing and supporting SAP solutions that improve reporting accuracy, streamline processes, and reduce operational efficiencies by 20 to 30%. Okay? Direct support specialist. On Instagram. Your direct reports. This is what makes hiring managers stop. And if they were giving out a grade, you will be ranked number 1. Because they don't have to guess. You just told them what they're going to get if they pick you. Okay? So if you're a direct support specialist, you say, help you improve client quality of life by supporting 5 to 20 individuals daily with personal care, behavior support, and independent living assistance. Or you can say, I help you improve client stability and daily functioning by assisting with routines, medication, reminders, and behavior support if it's in the medical field. Okay? Senior production supervisor on Instagram. If you're a senior production supervisor and you want to add an impactful high value statement, you say, I help you increase production output by 20 to 35%. I lead teams of 25 to 100 plus employees, and I improve operational efficiency across high volume manufacturing environments. This is what you're missing on your resume. This is why they're telling you no. It's not because you're not qualified. It's not because you don't have the experience. It's not because you don't have the education. In fact, whenever I'm talking to graduates, right, college graduates, right, and I tell them, I have them add a high value statement to their resume. I have them add a high value statement in their resume that tell hiring managers how their education has positioned them to be the solution for the hiring manager. So if you're a new grad in IT, you say, I help you support reliable technology operations by applying strong technical knowledge, troubleshooting skills, and fast learning mindset to solve IT challenges efficiently. That's what every IT college grad puts on there, something like that, on their resume that I coach and I talk to. Okay? You can be you just graduated with your nursing degree, right? If you're a brand new nurse, you just graduated and you've never actually seen patients in a clinic or a hospital, how are hiring managers going to know that you are the solution to the problem, and how are they going to give you top pay? So you're a new grad nurse, you say, I help you deliver compassionate, high quality patient care by applying strong clinical training, patient-focused communication, and evidence-based nursing practices. That's what they want. Just like the plumber, you didn't interview that person. You didn't talk to that person before you let them in your home. They told you how they are the answer to your problem before they even opened their mouth. Hi, my name is Fred. Look at my shirt. Expert plumber, 20 years experience, serving 20,000 customers. I help you stop your leaky sink in 5 minutes or less. That's why you hire a person. You go get your checkbook. How much I got to write you this check for? And then they get inside and say, not only am I going to stop your sink from leaking in 5 minutes, I'm going to clean up all of this water from your floor so that you don't have any water damage. Now you're ready to sign over your life to this person. That's what happens when hiring managers see your resume if it's crafted correctly. When it is missing, your resume looks like it's a blank piece of paper to a hiring manager. This is what your resume looks like. A blank, stinking piece of paper. And that's why they don't call you. It's not because of ageism. It's not because of anything other than you have failed to tell hiring managers what they want to see. And so because of that, you don't get opportunities. So many of you have typed in the chat, I'm tired, sick and tired of this. Now you'll notice, I didn't speak about your skill, experience, education, and background. I didn't speak about that at all. Because we don't look at that until we have confirmed the interview, okay? And hiring managers read it right before you're about to interview with them. It is not what they use to select you, okay? They don't look at where you work. They don't look at the last time you worked. They don't look at none of that when they're trying to determine if they want to interview you. Now, once they know, they have scheduled you for an interview based on the fact that they believe you can solve their problem. They will then skim and scan through the rest of your resume to see where you work so they can prepare themselves for the interview. And a lot of times that's not an hour. That's about 1 hour before you get there. Okay? So you're being rejected, not because you're not qualified, not because you're too old, not because you're too young, but because you are failing to tell hiring managers that you're an expert plumber with 20 years experience, serving 20,000 customers, and you help fix leaky sinks in 5 minutes or less. That's why. If this is helpful, type "this is helpful" in the chat. I want to make sure I'm tracking. Okay? I want to make sure I'm tracking with you guys. Remember, if you want me to review your resume for free, I'm going to do that here in just a second. I'll be happy to review your resume for free. All right. We're going to move on to the next thing, which is very important, and that is many of you, and I've heard this from many of you, Daniel, I'm applying to jobs, but no one's calling me back. Daniel, I believe I have a good resume, but no one's calling me back. This is the first question I always ask. How many jobs are you applying to on a weekly basis? Right? So if I were to ask you the question, on average, how many jobs do you apply to weekly? I want you to type that number in the chat. I'm going to explain to you what is the right number. So type it in the chat. 25 of you, type in the chat how many jobs on average you are applying to in a week. That's over 7 days, right? How many do you apply to, right? And I'm going to explain to you what the real number should be if you are not doing it. And I'm going to explain to you why. Okay? Now, not only are you being rejected because you don't have the right resume, but you're being rejected because you are missing out on applying to jobs. That's because most of you have no idea what happens to your resume when you click submit. You have no idea about the pathway of your resume. I'm going to explain it to you. Okay? You don't know what happens. You are thinking, when I submit my resume, someone's going to look at it and they're going to select me. That's not how it works. I submit my resume, I have all of the experience based on the job description, someone's going to call me. Nope, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So, let me share something with you, and then I'm going to tell you the number. This is going to shock many of you. But believe me, I'm going to explain to you why this is necessary. Okay? On my Fast Track program, the way I tee it up for people on my Fast Track program, and the Fast Track program is a program that I am every client's personal recruiting assistant and help them find a job, land a job, not just find one. That's interview and get an offer for a job in less than 30 days. Multiple offers. The average person on my Fast Track program if they do everything that I say, will get 2 to 4 job offers in 30 days. So this is what I tell them. Whenever I do their onboarding, I say to them, what I'm about to share with you is going to shock you. It's going to be a shock to your system because it's not something you're used to. But I'm going to explain to you why this is necessary. And I'm telling you the same thing. You have no idea what happens to your resume when you apply. Zero. You don't. I'm going to make a couple claims here. Sometimes you submit your resume for a job and you are the most qualified person who submitted their resume, but no one ever sees your resume and you get a rejection letter. Sometimes you submit your resume and you're the first person to apply to that job and no one ever sees it, so they hire somebody else and you get a rejection letter. And then you're thinking, what's wrong with me? Some of you are submitting your resume and you are qualified, but your resume stinks, so nobody's calling you back. And some of you are submitting your resume to jobs that are closed or are already filled, and you're getting rejection letters within 5 minutes of applying, and you didn't know why. I'm going to tell you why. If you are someone, I see that the average person here, you're just about right. The average person will apply to about 25 jobs a week. Okay? That's about 4 jobs per day. Okay? I'm going to explain to you why you are not getting calls. All right? So first, when you apply to a job on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, or Indeed.com, let me explain to you what happens. I want everybody to understand this. This is going to help you. It's going to change your life. Okay? It's going to put you in complete control. When I post a position in the applicant tracking system and click publish, all of the job boards that are associated with that job, okay, it is in the back end of our applicant tracking system. ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, Indeed.com, Glassdoor, all of the other ones. When I click submit or publish, it immediately goes to the company's career site. Okay, that's first. It doesn't go to the job board, depending on the job board, until 6 to 8 hours after I publish it, if I don't publish it directly on the job board. Okay, so it goes 6 to 8 hours after I publish. So usually, let's call it next day, it falls on the job board. Now I want you to listen to this because this is going to shock you. When I fill that position, meaning I've hired someone, successfully hired someone, and we close the requisition in the applicant tracking system, it immediately is removed from our career site. But it does not leave the job board's career site. LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com do not pull it down until 30 to 60 days after I close it. If that's a shock to you, type wow. So guess what? You're clicking your 25 jobs a week. Apply, 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 apply. Nobody's calling me back. Apply, rejection after rejection after rejection. What did they talk about? Somebody else got the job. They didn't even talk to me. It's because half of the jobs that you're applying to right now, they're closed. And you didn't know it. I'm going to tell you. So you don't know how to filter job boards. I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, just a second. You need to know that the jobs that you're applying to are open. Now, I'm going to say something else. Lisa says That's why I go straight to the company's website and check to see if it's still open. That's great. You should do that and then apply to the job on the job board. But there is a way that you don't have to waste your time going to the company's website. You can know with great certainty that the job is actually open if it is on one of the job boards. Okay? So I'm going to tell you that in just a second, because I don't want you going over to the company's career site. And here's why I don't want you to go over to the company's career site. There is no feature on our career site that allows you to quickly fill out an application. It takes you 35 minutes to fill out an application. And the reason why some of you are only doing 4 to 5 applications a day is because you're spending 2 hours filling out applications, what I call long applications, the full and complete long form application. What you need to know is there's only one thing we want. I don't care how we get it. We don't care how we get it. Whether you fill out an application or not, we don't care. We only want one thing from you, and that is your resume. So, imagine being at a job fair and you talk to somebody about a job and you hand them your resume. That's the fastest way to get your resume in front of a recruiter. Okay? But let's say you're not at a job fair. Let's say you go to a job board. Let's say you see something on a job board and you decide, I'm going to go over to the career site, and I'm going to fill out the application on the career site. There is no easy way to apply on the career site. You got to fill out the whole, you got to register in the applicant tracking system and fill out the whole application. That takes you 35 to 40 minutes. Now you just spent 35 to 40 minutes, and all we really wanted was that same resume. Okay? You got to stop doing that. Because if you spend 35 minutes filling out an application and we reject your resume, you just wasted 30 minutes. You can never get that back again. So you want to go the fastest way possible. Okay? So, again, I mentioned earlier, most of you have no idea about the path your resume takes. Okay? So let me explain it to you. When you apply to a job, let's say it's on a job board because you're smart, and you fill out the quick application on a job board because you're a genius, which is what you should be doing. And let's say that job is posted on Monday, and by the end of the day on Monday, end of the day on Tuesday, your resume goes all the way down to the bottom, and you're like the 200th person in that stack. So you started off as the first person, but there are people who apply after you, which pushes your resume all the way down to the bottom. Point number 1. Recruiters do not look at resumes until 3 to 4 days after the job has been up and posted, because we're waiting for resumes to come in. Okay? We want to make sure that we can take from a large swath of candidates. So you apply on the first day, your resume goes all the way down to the bottom, you're at the bottom. When we start looking at resumes, we don't start with the first person who applied. We start with the last person applied. So we may never ever get to your resume. That's why you can't apply to 25 to 30 jobs a week. You could be the most qualified person in the stack, but we never see you, because we found 20 candidates before we got to you. So when we close that position, you're going to get a rejection letter. Okay? Now there's a way to mitigate it. You're not going to be able to stop what I just said doing, because we're trying to be efficient too. We're trying to get the hiring manager what they want. Listen, I'm sorry. We don't care about you when we're going through the selection process, because we don't know you. And we have no obligation to go to, we should, but we have no obligation to go through every single candidate that applied. We're going to pick the first 20 that we believe match what we're looking for, and that's what we're going to work with. And if we don't get what we're looking for out of that, then we'll go back to the stack. Okay? So that's what's happening. I just want to let you know that. So there's a way for you to understand. I mean, you need to understand that so you can mitigate it. So now I want you to share. I want to give you the numbers. These are real numbers. This is what I share with everybody on my Fast Track program. So let's say you are a rock star, and you think you're a rock star. You're applying to 50 jobs a week. 50. Let's make it 60. You're killing it. 60 jobs a week. Okay? First, if you don't filter correctly, half of those jobs are going to be filled or closed. So now you're down to 30 jobs. Please listen to me. This is only going to take 45 seconds because you need to know what's happening. So you filled out these applications for 60 jobs. Half of those jobs, 30, are closed. So they're out. You're not going to get anybody to call you back because the position has already been filled. Okay. Half of the job that you applied to, when we looked at your resume, we don't think that you're a fit. Even though you might be a fit, your resume is not positioned correctly. So now you're down to 15 jobs. Okay? Half of those jobs, you're at the bottom of the pile. So now you're down to 7 jobs a week. A week. That's if you fill out 60 applications in 1 week. You're down to 7. Maybe one of those companies will reach out to you. Maybe. The likelihood is 0. Now listen to this part, please. No one else is going to tell you this. If you apply to jobs and you don't get that job within 24 days, 25 days, guess what? They're going to fill that job and you got to start all over again with new jobs. Every 30 days, this process starts over again for you. Over and over again. So you apply to 60 this week. You don't get hired. 3 weeks from now, you got to start all over again. Next week, you apply to 60. You don't get hired. You got to start all over again. Week after that, start all over again. It keeps going over and over and over again, which is why there are some people who have been out of work for a year or 2 years or 8 months or 9 months. People who come on my Fast Track program, they've been out of work for 6, 8, 9 months and don't know what's happening. You're not applying to enough jobs to make an impact, to make people stop you and call you. Okay? So I'm going to give you the number. You got to apply to the maximum number of jobs. And by the way, what if I told you you can apply to 100 jobs a day, every day, in 30 minutes a day? That's what you should be doing. You should be applying to 100 jobs a day, 700 jobs a week. And all you have to spend is 30 minutes a day. Now, what does that number look like? 600 jobs, 700 jobs a week. If half, let's just say you're doing it the old way. Half of those jobs are closed. That's 350. Half of those jobs are at the bottom of the pile. That's 175. Half of those jobs, people don't like your resume, right? You're still down to, 80, 90, 80 jobs. So 80 jobs a week are looking at your information and saying, we want to talk to you. That's why people on my Fast Track program get so many interviews each week. Now, the problem you have is you don't think that that many jobs available. If I told you you have to spend 30 minutes a day, that's it. Not an hour, not 2 hours, 30 minutes a day submitting yourself. Because remember, your resume is not a historical document. It's a marketing document. You're marketing yourself to as many companies as possible to see who is the highest bidder. You got to understand that. Remember, hiring managers don't read your resume. So we're not looking at it like it's a technical document to solve our problem. We want to see right up front if you're an expert plumber with how many years experience, how many customers, how fast can you fix my sink? That's what we're looking for, right? That is what makes them stop and interview you. So if I told you there was a way for you to submit 100 applications every day for 30 days and all it takes you is 30 minutes, it would change your life. You could do it first thing in the morning when you get up. Pour your coffee or your energy drink. or your vodka, whatever you drink in the morning, right? And you sit in front of your tablet, right? Your resume is already up on the job boards, and you just click apply. You know how to filter it. You know it's the right job. You know it's the right pay. All of that is done for you already, and you can just click apply, apply, apply to these jobs that match what you want in terms of pay, position, location, everything, right? And then 30 minutes later, you sip your coffee and you leave. You go work out. Go work in your garden. Cut your grass. Build that deck you wanted to build, right? Go spend time with your friend, your buddy. Go to lunch with your wife, and then wait until the afternoon between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock and see how many jobs have reached out to you. A 100 applications a day will lead to 2 to 4 responses every day and 2 to 4 interviews every single week. Every week. You could do it in just 30 minutes a day. The problem is you don't know that there's that many jobs open. Let me tell you a story real quick, 5 seconds. I promise I'm going to go to LinkedIn while I'm doing it. Have a client. His name is Ron. Ron came to me. He's a senior sales account manager. Desperate. Couldn't find the job and didn't have an interview for 8 months. He was laid off. Okay, he was laid off. Ron's severance was running out because he used it to pay his bills. His unemployment was ending. He was desperate. Ron thought because he was 55 years old, ageism was kicking in and he was being aged out of the market. He listened to one of my previous Zoom trainings and said, Daniel, I need help. I don't know if you can help me. He says, this is my situation. Do you think you can help me? I said, I think I can. I think so. What is your job? He says, I'm a senior sales account manager with 30 years experience. And I said, tell me what you're doing. And Ron told me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm applying to this many jobs, 20 jobs a week. I applied to 15 last week. Nobody's calling me back. I think it's because of my age. I said, well, Ron, I don't think ageism is a thing. It's not, right? What kind of jobs are you applying to? He says, well, there aren't that many jobs out there. All of the things that you guys say. And I said, okay, I think I can help you. He says, okay, I'm desperate. I'm going to jump on the fast track program. Please. I said, okay. Day 1. So this was the end of February. His first day was March 5th. So day 1. I said, send me your resume. I need to fix it. So I did. Fix his resume. 2 days later, we got on another call. And we did what I'm about to do for you. I said, Ron, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to show me how you're searching for jobs. Okay? Because that could be an issue. If you're not searching for jobs correctly, that could be an issue. He says, well, what I do when I search for jobs is I'm looking for a certain job, just like everybody. So I type in my previous job title. Now, some of you have heard you type in the job title you want or a job title you had before. If that's you, type that's me in the chat. You type in your job title into the search on the job board. That's what you're doing. I'm going to type in Ron's case, senior sales account manager. If that's what you're doing, type that's me in the chat. Just be honest. And Ron says, well, this is what I do. I said, okay, let's see what kind of result you get when you do that. Okay, this is what I call my onboarding training. I do a LinkedIn onboarding training for everybody. So I see you guys on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok saying, yeah, that's me. I type in my job title. So I want you to listen to me. So Ron typed in his job title, Senior Sales Account Manager. And I said, don't filter by anything else. Just click search. And he did. And I'm looking at it right now. 2,457 jobs came back in the United States. Now I said to Ron, we got a problem. He says, what do you mean? I said, Ron, half of those jobs are closed. So that's 1,200. Okay? So it's really not 2,500. It's like 1,250. All right? That's first. Second, many of these jobs you are overqualified for because you're a senior manager, and many of them you are underqualified for. Okay? So half of those jobs are going to be gone. Okay, so now you're down to like 600. Okay? Many of them are not going to pay what you want. Half of those are gone. We're down to 300. When we filtered all the way down through to Easy Apply, we had 18 jobs that he could apply for. He says, man, this is how it happens every week. I told you there were no jobs available. And I said, man, I see what you're saying. I said, but there's one problem, Ron, and I'm telling you, there's one problem. He says, what is it, Daniel? I said, you're not searching on the job boards the right way. You can't search like this and expect to get big results. He says, what am I doing wrong? And I said this, Ron, you never put in your job title into the search bar, ever. Because I'm a recruiter, okay? We don't post positions just by job title. Our postings are designed to attract skill, not title. Skill, not title. So you don't put in your job title. This is not Google, okay? He says, well, what should I put? I say, you put in the single word, no more than 2 words, function of your job. So I said, Ron, if I was doing this search for you as your recruiter, I would put in the word sales. That's all I would put in. And we did that. And 473,823 jobs came back. He said, wow. I said, what do you think made the difference? We just changed the keyword. That's it. I know how job boards work. Okay? We try to attract people not based on job titles in the job description, but keywords in the job description. So all of you ATS keywords, no, we use keywords on job boards. Okay? We don't use it in the applicant tracking system. We use it in job boards. So I said, now that we have 473,000 jobs to pick from, now we can start eliminating jobs that have been posted. How long have they been posted? The salary, career level, all the way down to Easy Apply. When we finished filtering this 473,000 jobs, he had 43,000 jobs that perfectly matched his skill and pay that he could do. So I said, now that each one of these jobs, if you just click apply, it takes you 10 seconds to apply to, you're going to apply to 30 every day on LinkedIn. You're going to do the same thing on ZipRecruiter and the same thing on Indeed.com. What was Ron's results? Ron ended up having 4 interviews the second week. 4. Okay? I prepped him before every interview because I didn't want him to mess it up. So I had a conversation with him 15 minutes before he was supposed to do the interviews. Had a conversation with him, told him, this is what they're going to ask you. I'm going to tell all of you guys about interviews in just a second. This is what they're going to ask you. This is why they're asking it. This is how you answer. Say this, never say that. And here's why you should never say that and only say this. Okay? So Ron was prepared for every one of his interviews. At the end of his 4 interviews, week 2, he had 2 hiring manager interviews starting in week 3. But he had 3 more initial screens in week 3. So we prepped before those 3 as well. But by the end of week 2, he had 2 written job offers in his email. Written. Hey, we would like to offer you this position, start this date. This is the position, this is the title, this is the pay. Written. Not, hey, we want to hire you. No, it was written. He said to me on that Friday, we met that Friday morning, Daniel, I don't want to accept these offers until I've gotten through with these other 2 jobs because I think I might like these jobs better. So he did that. Monday, April 6th, which was day 30, he had his final interviews. He was supposed to be in a meeting with me on Monday evening, but he didn't come. So I was like, I wonder what happened. Well, I got this message from Ron on April 7th at 4 o'clock. Hey, Coach Daniel, I wanted to let you know I accepted a position. I know you wanted to have a chat with me before the offer, but honestly, this company met everything I requested in terms of my salary, vacation days, investment in their pension plan, and everything else. My role will be as commercial manager in the medical business unit with commercial responsibilities over 6 shared locations with customer service managers and operational teams who do not report directly to the medical business unit. Coach Daniel, your program really is outstanding and it really does work. I will be more than happy to provide you with an exceptional endorsement. Coach, your formula really does work. Thank you. Now, I'm not surprised because we help 300 people every single year on the Fast Track program. What excites me is here was a person who was desperate. Okay? It was desperate. He was desperate. So CCW, I said you don't type in your job title. You type in the skill keyword, right? So in Ron's case, it was sales. You type no more than 2 words in there. So if it's Scrum Master, I have people put Scrum. If it's HR, I have people put Human Resources. If it's Payroll Manager, I have people put in Payroll. You put in 1, no more than 2 words, because the job boards don't understand it outside of that. Okay, so Ron was desperate. 8 months, couldn't find a job. If Ron did not come in contact with me, he probably would not be working right now. But what would his life look like? Right? He would be struggling. Probably had to go get some retail job at 7-Eleven or something like that. I'm not saying those jobs were bad, but he would have had to do something to make ends meet. What was Ron's problem? He didn't understand the process. He didn't understand why people tell him yes, why people tell him no, how to get to the hiring manager, what they're looking for. He had no idea. So he came to me, and because I'm the one that's been doing that for 35 years, I can tell him exactly what's going on. And I have story after story after story like this from people who follow the process, right? And get jobs in less than 30 days. So you may be someone who says, man, I'm struggling, man. I got to get a job. I don't know what I'm going to do in 30 days. That might be you. I want to change my career. I want to shift. I just got laid off 2 months ago and I've been struggling to find a job. I need to find something fast. You should not be struggling. You should be able to land a higher paying job in 30 days or less. I'm going to tell you somebody asked me, CDP, what does the Fast Track program cost? I'm going to tell you that. I'm not going to hide anything from you. You're not going to believe it. You're going to be like, what? Is that it? Yes. What is the Fast Track program? It is the program that I use to help people get jobs in 30 days or less. Is it self-directed? No, I'm going to tell you everything to do. And if you do everything that I tell you to do, you will land the jobs. Do you have to prepare yourself for an interview? No, I'm going to do that for you. Do you have to figure out where to look for jobs? No, I'm going to train you. Do you have to do your resume? No, I'm going to do your resume. I'm going to do it. Right? Or someone on my team. Do you have to worry about whether you're going to get a lowball offer? No, I'm going to tell you what 3-sentence email to reply to every offer to get $2,000 to $10,000. What if it's a remote position? Yes. What if it's an on-site position? Yes. What if it's a higher position? Yes. Can it be a C-level executive position? Yes. Entry level? Yes. College grad? Yes. I just had a coaching call Friday with somebody. I had a coaching call with the mom, but 3 weeks earlier I had a coaching call with the son. 27 years old. He just turned 27. I said, how is Braden doing? She said, he's great. You told him what to do in that coaching session. And he applied to this job. He interviewed and did exactly what you said. And here it is, 3 weeks later, He says he's moving down to Dallas. He started the job today. The guy just graduated. Right? What's my point? You just don't know what to do. I'm not confused about the process. You might be, but I'm not. Right? And on the Fast Track program, what I do is I help people understand exactly what the process looks like. So you can tell me right now, Daniel, I'm not getting responses. I can tell you, it's either your resume or you're not applying to enough jobs. And if you're applying to enough jobs, you're applying to the wrong types of jobs, meaning the jobs are closed. Okay? I can tell you that. Daniel, I'm getting interviews, but no one is giving me an offer. I can tell you why you're not getting an offer. The reason why you're not getting an offer is because you think the interview is about you selling your skill, experience, education, and background to a hiring manager, and it's not. The way an interview works is, I use the example all the time, and I'm about to tell you guys about the cost of the Fast Track program, resume reviews, and everything else. The way I explain the interview process is this. Imagine I come to your city. And you and I are having lunch. And all of a sudden, I fly to your city, you and I are having lunch, and all of a sudden I get a phone call and it's an emergency. And I get off the phone and I say, oh my God, I hate that I have to cut our lunch short. But I just got a call, I have to leave and get to it. Can I borrow your car? What are you going to say? No, you can't borrow my car. Why? Because you don't know me. You don't trust me. Right? You don't know me like that. Right? That's why you're going to say no. Why does a hiring manager interview you? Because they're trying to see if you're trustworthy enough to loan you the car. You don't know that about interviews. You think it's about going in there and telling them how much driving experience you have, the types of cars you've driven before, and other people who have allowed you to borrow their car. They're still going to tell you no because they don't know you. That car, just like the job, is precious to them. It's important. They've been entrusted with this work. And they're just trying to give it to you, so they tell you no. So let's talk about, what do these things cost? Okay. If you're someone and you are unsure about whether or not your resume is healthy enough to get the attention of hiring managers and recruiters, you can email your resume to me today, and I will review it for free. There's no money. Zero. I'll look at it and then I'll respond to you with what I think you need to do to fix it. You can fix it if you want. If you decide you want me to fix it, I give you 3 options. I will do it for you or someone on my team. And if you want a basic resume or a resume with a cover letter, or what most people get is a resume plus a cover letter, plus a LinkedIn optimized or job board resume, and you get as a bonus my interview questions and answer cheat sheet. It's 50 questions every hiring manager will ask you, and how to answer every single one of them the way that I would answer them. You get that as well, and you get 5% off. $75 to $95 depending on the package that you choose. That resume will get you $2,000 to $10,000 more in an offer. Okay? All you got to do is email me your resume and I'll review it. But let's say you say, Daniel, wait, I need to get a job in the next 30 days and I need you to help me. You do it. You help me, please. I have an option there too. It's a fast track program. It's my fast track to a higher paying job offer in 30 days or less. What does it include? 1, I'm going to do your resume. 2, I'm going to help you do your LinkedIn profile so that it attracts the attention of hiring managers and recruiters the moment they click on your profile. Number 3, I will show you how to find thousands of jobs just like I showed Ron. I'm going to show you how to do that. You're not going to have to figure it out. I'm not going to give you a book. You're going to get on a Zoom call with me. I'm going to show you how to do it. Number 4, you get access to me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have questions, you need an interview prep, you need offer prep, it doesn't matter. You text me and say, Dan, I got an interview. Can we prep? I will send you a Zoom invite and you and I will prep. I will talk to you about the job description, the pay, what they're going to ask you. I do that for every single person on the Fast Track program before every single interview. And then when you get an offer, you say, Daniel, I got a written offer. What do I need to do? You and I will talk through the offer. I will use the tools that I have at my disposal to tell you if this is a premium offer, and if there's anything left in the offer. And if it is, I'm going to tell you exactly what to say in order to do that. What is my goal? To help you land a job in 30 days or less. What is your obligation? Spend 30 minutes a day doing exactly what I tell you to do. How much does it cost? $497, but I let you pay it in 4 months. So to get started on the Fast Track program, which the next one starts tomorrow, it's $124.25. To get a job, paying you $2,000 to $10,000 more in the next 30 days. So a $500 investment over 4 months to get a job paying you $2,000 to $10,000 in the next 30 days. Yes. That's why I only do 30 people a month. That's it. So if you're serious about getting a job, if you're serious about landing a job, you got to fix your resume. Got to. Nobody's going to call you if you don't fix it. You got to learn how to find jobs. If you don't apply to enough jobs, nothing's going to happen. You're wasting your time. Okay? You got to learn how to interview. What hiring managers are looking for. Why are they asking this question? Why is it they only ask me 2 questions and then they start talking about the job? It's because you didn't answer the first 2 questions right. When they ask you, tell me about yourself, you talk about your work history. You're done. When they ask you, why are you looking to leave your current company? And you say, because I'm looking for growth. I'm looking for opportunity. I'm looking for pay. You're done. That's the end of the interview. After they ask you those 2 questions, if you answer them wrong, they're going to start talking about the work and they're never going to call you back again. Why? Because you don't know what the interview is all about, right? You have no idea. You answer those questions wrong. On the Fast Track program, I tell people, never do that. So, FL Prospect says, how much does the Fast Track program cost? It's $497, but I have a payment plan that allows you to pay $124.25 over 4 months. What does that mean? You pay $125.25 over 4 months, but I'm going to help you get a job paying you $2,000 to $10,000 more dollars in the next 30 days. I'm that confident in the program. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, faith without works is dead. That means you can have faith, but if you don't activate the faith, corresponding actions, you will not get the results and the benefit that faith affords you. Information that you know you need without taking action doesn't benefit you at all. It's really just entertainment. Okay, that's all it is. Information without you taking action means you were just entertained. You will not reap the benefits of it. I'm not trying to convince nobody about whether or not this works. I know it works. I'm just trying to offer help to anybody who needs it. Okay? If you decide that you want to join the Fast Track program and be one of the individuals to start tomorrow, one of the 5 new individuals who start tomorrow, send me an email, and in the email subject line, just type Fast Track. The first 5 people who sign up, that will be it. You won't be able to start until the next week. Okay? If you email me, daniel@dscds.com, the word Fast Track, I will email you a link to look at the Fast Track program. Looking don't cost you nothing. You got to ask yourself, am I serious? Am I ready? Okay? When you join the Fast Track program, I am going to demand that you follow the process. You be committed to the process for 30 days. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, but I'm not going to hold your hand. If you do exactly what I tell you to do, you will get results. This is not a maybe, kind of, sort of, hopefully. You will get results. Okay? Faith without works is dead. Information without action is entertainment. Nothing in your life will change if you don't take action. You can spend time on these apps all day getting as much information as you want. But if you don't take action, nothing, absolutely nothing is going to change in your life. I wish I could stay a little longer, but I have to go. I will be doing a live again tomorrow. I said I was going to review resumes. I am going to review resumes once I leave, but I have to head out. Thank you guys so much for attending the live. I will talk to you again soon. Take care. God bless you.